We are down to the final four here at the Fiji Pro. The first semifinal is a matchup of world champions. Kelly Slater, 11-time world champ, takes on the first Brazilian world champ in history, winning back in 2014. Medina and Kelly going head-to-head in pumping Cloudbreak conditions, looking for a spot into the final with just a few heats to go before crowning a champion. Looking back in history with these two, you go back to the early days when Medina got the call-up as a rookie on tour. He beat Kelly in their first two matchups. Their quarterfinal heats and events that Medina went on to win, both in France and San Francisco. More recent matchup at the J-Bay Open last season in the quarterfinals, where Kelly was able to eliminate Medina. Getting started quickly is Slater out the back, pulling right into the barrel and getting spit out to take control early in this matchup. Throws a big hook out the back, nice and vertical. Going down to turns on the open face. Joe Chappelle alongside 89 world champ. Potts, this one continues with Medina free falling right into the pit. He makes it. Now going to turns as well. Nice carve off the top, pulls in for the bonus section down the line, tries to force the exit, and he'll get hung up and sent over the falls.
Yeah, nice opening exchange right there. You know, Kelly watched that last heat, I'm sure, and he knows Medina's going to catch a lot of waves. John coming up short at the end of that heat. So Kelly's going to make sure he gets those couple of quick ones under his belt. Put some scores on the board very early in the piece. Medina just not quite finishing off his wave. Let's have a look at Medina's sliding in sideways right up the front of the board there. Now he shuffles back and unloads that big trademark slashing maneuver. Goes for that bonus section on the inside and doesn't quite pull that off. So Gabriel Medina making his intentions clear. Kelly Slater, on the other hand, just technique absolutely perfect. Comes out with a spit. That's exactly what you got to do. And then combos it up, which the judges are kind of liking. Nice vertical turn there to finish off on your feet. Very, very important here in the semi-finals. Those little wipeouts, Joe, could mean the difference between winning and losing.
Kelly Slater ejected over the falls yesterday and broke his magic board, which is 5'11" on a 6.0 today, as he reaches for backup equipment. Medina's equipment solid with Johnny Cabianca as his shaper through a world title run. He's not afraid of riding boards with a bit more foam. And now performing at a high level. Both these guys meeting on the top end of the draw in this first semifinal as two of the highest scoring athletes in the Fiji Pro. Kelly and Medina, we talked about their history. This was also a final back in 2012 in solid conditions.
Pretty similar, right? Pretty similar conditions of what we got today. Kelly Slater getting the nod, so he knows he's got his hands full with Gabriel Medina. Medina's not one of those guys that's going to lie down and give him an easy heat, that's for sure. He's going to make him earn it. Kelly's not shy of that either.
What a great final four. Kelly, Medina going head-to-head as world champs. Up next, Wilco and Ace Buchan. Best of friends. Goofy Foots had grown up surfing together. Wilco with a world title hope on the line, but also Ace Buchan into the final series. Watching Medina now. Slam on the brakes, pulls it nice and deep. Comes flying out, now going for turns. Just a setup slash, he wants to get barreled again. He'll have to come around the corner, then pulls into a heavy section and beats it. Medina looking for more. He'll just fly away and kick out to the safety of the channel. A challenging read, and Medina making it look oh so easy. Only needed a 3.41 for a lead change.
Well, you can say he's got that. I think he would have got it on that first section of the wave, never mind that end section. He's going to add some big points to that ride. Tricky little pickup right on the inside right there. Best water patrol on the planet. And you can hear Namotu boats cheering for Gabriel Medina. Let's have a look at this wave, Joe. Beautiful conditions here. Draws off the bottom, nice and low. Dragging both those hands to slow himself down. Perfect positioning. Now he shuffles back again, double pump off the bottom, and sets up this inside racetrack. You can see him starting to pump. He needs some speed. Picking that timing is right in the barrel right now, and drives through that inside section. Good solid wave for Gabriel Medina. Applying some pressure. Started off with a 4.67. I like this part through this section right here. Almost pulled in, decided not to, and then now tucks under that, driving through those sections. Gabriel Medina shown a lot of confidence here in semi-final number 1.
Big flyaway kick out from Medina as we take a look from the land here, a couple of miles away on Tavarua. See how deep he got. Even when he's just roller coastering through heavy sections, looks like he's in total control.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, he looks confident, he's got speed, he's surfing with conviction. There's no doubt with what he wants to do, no hesitation whatsoever. And that's the kind of surfing you've got to produce if you want to take down Kelly Slater, who's won this event 4 times, 11 world titles, and 50 plus WCT wins. The greatest of all time, but he's got a feisty Medina to deal with right here.
Medina 8.4 from the panel to take the lead. Slater now needs a 6.58. We saw Slater start early with a 6.5, and Kelly's been pretty solid at that in this contest, Potts, just finding a different part of the lineup to get started early. He understands a lot of competitors are watching him, where he wants to take off and sit, and he'll have to play a little bit of mind games, just pretend he's not interested in the waves he wants at times.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and when he's playing, when he's got that second priority, you know, he's going to kind of let the other guy determine where he wants to sit. He's not going to push the issue. You can see him now moving further up. With that tide changing, he's maybe anticipating those waves to start coming from deeper on the reef. I mean, this guy's a professor when it comes to Cloudbreak. He knows every little crevice, every little crack in the reef, every direction. And depending on what tide it is, that's exactly where he wants to sit.
So such a fun matchup seeing 2 world champs come together. Seeing Medina still just starting his career with 1 world title. Having a look now and pulling right in, letting go of the rail is Kelly Slater. A tough section to make with that barrel clamping down. And we'll see the next set roll through as well. Medina hanging on to the lead and priority. Kelly just popping up. And another broken board.
Wow. I mean, those boards are pretty light, Joe, so I mean, this is one of the most powerful waves on the planet. He's best now just to get rid of that half a board, get himself on the back of the jet ski, and let's hope he's got multiple backups. Not what he wanted right there, and I was about to say maybe a little bit of a mistake there catching that wave. Kind of ran away from him a little bit. Didn't look like one of those clean, pristine Cloudbreak waves.
And Kelly there just trying to grab onto the sled after dealing with a pretty heavy wipeout, broken board. I'll get to the channel, and it's taken a couple of minutes to get the change. Kurt Monroe with the board in the channel there to make a quick switch. We got Strider Wazalewski that saw the whole thing. What's going down, Strider?
Obviously doing a board change right now. He's broken another board. He's only got 3 out here in the channel. It looks like he's got 1 more on the ski with no fins in it right now. So he's gonna have to do, his caddy's gonna have to do some work getting that one, but definitely an unfortunate situation there for Kelly, but he's gonna get right back out there. Quick change right there. Monroe was there for him right away. Back on another 4 fin. Weber Banana, he's back out there.
Strider, you saw that last wave from the channel for Kelly. What happened on that exchange where he ended up breaking his board?
You know what? It just didn't look like the right wave to me when he was taking off on it. It had a little bit of froth on the face, but Medina kind of lured him into it. As Medina's got the hold on the heat right now, Kelly didn't want to give him another wave, and he went it. He was a little too deep and riding through the foam ball, and then just got picked off.
Thank you very much, Strider. Watching this one from the replay from the sky, Potts, what'd you see here?
Yeah, I agree with Strider there. Just to me, on the takeoff, didn't really look like the one that he wanted. You know, it's that one just had a bit of white water on the face of it. It was kind of lumpy and bumpy, and as Strider said, Medina kind of lured him in a little bit, but You know, Kelly's got to be a little smarter than that. You don't want to break any more boards because otherwise he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. So he's got to play a real smart 23 minutes right now. A little bit behind the 8 ball, but still only needing a 6.51.
Well, knowing Matt Wilkinson had a heat to prepare for, we were able to catch up with Matty Wilkinson a little bit earlier after that big heat win. He's with Rosie Hodge.
Well, Matty Wilco, that heat win must mean so much to you. I mean, we talk about the ratings, and it just seems like you've taken absolute command of this 2016 season.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy heat. To have John again, I beat him yesterday, and I was like, all right, have I used up all my luck? And then today, it's absolutely pumping out there, but the conditions are still tricky. So I knew if I put some solid scores on the board, he was going to have to obviously get some crazy barrels to beat me. And there were a few like wash-throughs. My first wave I thought was going to be the best wave I've ever caught in my life. I was like pumping across, and the biggest thing in the world was coming from the channel. I was like, oh, I've got to pull in. I just didn't do it. But yeah, to kind of slow John's run is massive for me. Watching him in this contest, I was pretty scared, and to be the guy to take him out and to still be in the contest with a chance to still win it is it's definitely massive for me and massive for my year.
And you spoke about silencing your critics. You must feel so good as you move through these rounds, and just, you know, it hasn't been easy rounds that you've been matched up against, so this must really put you just in such a good mind space.
Yeah, definitely. I love surfing big left barrels is my favorite thing in the world, and to kind of show that I can match or beat these guys is not, I guess it shuts the critics up a little bit, but it also gets gets me feeling pretty good about myself too. So I'm super stoked, and oh my God, Gabby's about to get the biggest barrel in the world. It is pumping. I don't know what I was talking about, but it's pumping.
Well, enjoy the rest of the event, Matty. We'll see you in the semifinals.
Thanks, Rosie Hodge. Rosie grabbing that interview a little bit earlier in this heat, and Wilco just hypnotized by the lineup. That was him watching the 8.4 going down. Wilco happy to shut down the critics for a moment into a semifinal. We've been talking about his personal best results at so many venues this year. He had never made a semifinal on the Gold Coast in his career, went on to win. Had never made the semifinals at Bells, went on to win. Now he's here in the semifinals at the Fiji Pro for the first time ever, world number 1. Already has at least 31,000 points on the Jeep leaderboard. That's just a semifinal result. There's a little even more room if he can go to take this thing down.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, if he keeps doing what he's doing, he's well and truly on his way. He's got a lot of work to do, though. He's got a super smart competitor in Ace Buchan who took down Mick Fanning in quarterfinal number 3. So, and Ace, well, Kelly's already put him in his top 5 barrel riders out here at Cloudbreak, so it's going to be a tough ask. So
looking at 20 minutes on the clock in this one. Slater broken board, went to the channel to grab another one. It's usually in that 5'11", 6'0" range with some sneaky dimensions on the bottom of his board. Sometimes it's hard to get it out of him what he's going to be riding at new events, coming together with his brand new surfboard company. He's been working with multiple shapers around the world, and some of them have been making the headlines at the start of the year when Stu Kennedy went on to make the semifinals.
You know, it's almost one of those situations where, you know, you look at certain surfers like maybe Joel or Mick. Guys will be ordering boards that are similar to that. But with Kelly, I don't know how many humans on the planet can actually ride that board. You know, and he does it so well. I mean, it's such a unique design, and it's not something that, you know, you'd want to order, but he's one of the world's best, and he's always looking and striving for something different, looking for that different line on the face of the wave, something to keep that excitement going, those juices flowing. And he's using it at a high level. I mean, this is crazy. At
the moment, needing a 6.58 to take the lead on Medina. You go back to Kelly's early years, dominating the 90s in the momentum generation, riding those boards that were so thin. When Kelly's performing that well and winning world titles, everyone wants to try what he's riding, but he was probably the only one that could ride it that well.
Well, that's what I was about to say. I mean, you look back in history, and I think he took a lot of guys down with that. A lot of guys were thinking, well, if Kelly's riding it and he's surfing that good on it, I want one. And you know, everyone kind of went backwards on those boards except him. So, you know, maybe he knows something that we don't, or he's just that good. And I think it's the latter. I think he's just that good.
He's been loving the quads as of late. Every year's a little bit different. Remember that little guitar pick center fin he used in that one season where he was doing big full rotation airs at Bells and in New York? This time the quad setup, and we're not seeing every surfer take on the 4-fin setup here at Cloudbreak, but you're a big fan of that.
I love it. You know, it gives you a lot of speed, and especially in waves like this, you've got a little bit more fin in the water. Okay, it's a lot harder to wipe off speed when you've got it, but you know, once you're in that barrel, there's a lot of water moving around. I think it just gives you a little bit more direction. Gives you that little bit more of a hold through the barrel. So everyone's different though. That's the beauty of the sport. Everyone's riding different equipment. Everyone wants a different feel, draw a different line, and that's why our sport is so exciting, Joe.
Always keeps us focused on equipment when we see guys paddle out real quick here to Cloudbreak to perform. We've got Strider Wasilewski, who's had a healthy amount of waves during this waiting period. He's watching this go down. Slater locks in, big takeoff. Nice deep bottom turn, attacks it under the lip, going for maneuvers now. Another big hammer off the top. Ton of power and control from Slater into the inside corner. It's cornering real hard on him, and that might do it for this ride. And next thing you know, he's going for a backside air off the roof, but ends up incomplete. So 2-turn combination out the back. And Kelly looking for a 6.58. Meanwhile, rolling it out the back, Medina. Checks to see if something better's coming, now commits. Front side carve, he's over it. He's gonna hold priority.
You know, I think that was a smart move right there by Kelly. It was kind of a warm-up wave on that board. Maybe hadn't ridden that thing yet. Looked pretty brand new to me, but just a feel-out wave. Okay, I know exactly what to expect now, how hard I can turn this board. I think Kelly knew this wave wasn't going to barrel. That's why he dropped straight down and just did that low bottom turn straight under the lip right there. Critical stuff from Kelly Slater. On any given day, this would have been a huge score. But unfortunately today, it's all about the barrel. Kelly looking for a 6.58. That first turn was absolutely amazing. One of the best backhand bottom turn, top turn combos on the planet for probably the last 20-something years. Gabriel Medina trying to match it, Joe. He's always looking over the back when he takes off. Interesting there from Gabriel Medina. Just a little carving maneuver, realizes that's not going to give him any more and kicks out. It's almost like every single wave he takes off on, he stands up and has a little look over his shoulder. That means he's not quite sure whether he's on the right one or not. A little bit of maybe not that confident with his wave selection at the moment.
Every wave just looks so perfect when it runs over this reef. These guys looking for a special kind of wave to take each other out to make the final. Medina up again. Quick jam off the roof. Going straight up, vertical, hammers it, huge air drop and recovers. A dramatic free fall for another big 2-turn combo to answer to Kelly's wave. Kelly's combination in at a 5.53. Medina looking to improve a 4.67 as he went all out on that final turn.
That he did. Smart surfing from Gabriel Medina. Just knows that Kelly's got himself a wave to get back in the mix.
seconds remain in the heat. 14 minutes and 40 seconds.
Kelly with a 5.53, not enough, needs a 6.58 at this stage. And Medina trying to improve on that 4.67. We've seen him do that so many times though, Joe, haven't we? Just keep trying to build his points up. Just keep trying to better that last score, that lowest score, which is a 4.67.
So we're guaranteed a finalist for Namotu in the second semifinal with Ace and Wilco going head-to-head. We got Medina in the lead representing Namotu here, who wants to make it an all Namotu final. Medina won this thing 2014. Owen Wright stayed on that island for a win last season with a perfect final over Julian Wilson. Our thoughts to Owen Wright, wishing him well in a speedy recovery back to form. He created history at this event last season. He's looking and watching this replay. Medina looking solid.
Yeah, free fall drop to start, that beautiful slashing maneuver. Then this one right here, this is critical with that free fall drop to finish. Medina's so good at those things. I mean, it's you look at his completion rate when it goes to the aerial maneuver, so those free fall drops are a walk in the park for Gabriel Medina. Love that carving maneuver, driving off the bottom again and then jams it up through the lip with that free fall drop. Almost lost it right there. 4.23, not enough to improve his situation, so it remains the same. Kelly looking for a 6.58. Time is ticking away, Joe.
13:15 on the clock. Slater still just looking for a 6.58 on what's proved to be a rather tricky day. Kelly took over the lineup in the quarters against Wiggly Dantes. Just found all the waves that he wanted. Didn't really feel tested by the waves he wanted to be on in that matchup, and got a 9.8 along the way. This one a bit different. Breaking a board early, having to grab a different surfboard in the back end of this heat while Medina already had the lead.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those waves, you know, do you go it or don't you? Do you let Medina maybe get another screamer? Decided to go, snapped his board, kind of put him behind the 8 ball just that little bit. But 12 minutes remaining, 6.58. It's Kelly Slater at Cloudbreak. You wouldn't bet against that.
That's right, plenty of time to set up who's going to be our first finalists here at the Fiji Pro. Will Kelly Slater with priority find a 6.58 to move on? We'll find out right after this. Welcome back to this first semifinal. Kelly Slater taking on Gabriel Medina as we look at the winning countries at this amazing event. Medina took the first for Brazil back in 2014. The other side, you see Kelly Slater's dominance, 4 solid wins, his first in 05. Beginning of his career, he was getting knocked out by Australian Goofy Foots, and you see those wins on the other side of our graph here. Akalupo celebrating his 50th birthday yesterday. Luke Egan was so dangerous in hollow conditions. Obviously scoring this one on his forehand, just like Medina out front. Medina stretching this one out from deep. Always looking for a creative start, looking to improve on his scoreline out front. Now this wave growing down the line, but it's not going to give him anything to perform on. Still hanging on to his lead, 9:40 to go. Slater needing a 6.58 to recover and move into the final. As we watch him from the sky pots, Kelly searching for a special part of the reef to pose a comeback. Love watching those waves that Medina was on. Starts off small, next thing it grows down the line and almost doubles in size. There's not a whole lot of waves in the world that do that.
No, and there's not a whole lot of guys in the world that, you know, when you see them take off on those things, you're just sort of anticipating something huge, and that wave not quite cooperating. So Kelly Slater now with priority. Let's have a look at Medina.
Medina slowing down. Beautiful positioning, nice and deep, and plenty of room to come out through the inside corner. Super hollow. And now he's lining up a big inside section, going to turns. Beautiful forehand carve. Little lip to hit, so he'll smack it real quick and kick out. Had a lot of energy and excitement through a couple of solid tube sections. So far, so good for Medina as he still has the lead.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, that wave that he caught didn't turn out to be anything special, but what it did do was it put him down through that inside bowl. And, well, what did he do? He got a nice little barrel, maybe another double barrel. So looking to replace that 4.67, extend his lead. Let's have a look at him just trimming, keeping that speed, not wiping too much off. Clean little in and out there for Medina, and then back in again through that bonus section through the inside. So a double barrel for Gabriel Medina. Had that wide stance. He was looking for maybe an air, but then deciding just to finish off with a nice clean turn. Gabriel Medina trying all the time to improve his situation. A 4.67 is what is he's got to try and better. I think he might have done that, Joe.
Looked just like a special wave to be a goofy footer on. Multiple sections, ready to get tight. The barrel wasn't always wide open. He knew where to be at the right time. Finished with a couple of maneuvers on the inside corner, and looks like he could be improving on his total with 7:30 remaining. Turns in a 6.27. More pressure on Kelly. Now needs an 8.18. We have some beautiful lines approaching. Out the back, Medina watches this one run through. Already capping. You can see the blue jersey of Slater. already thinking about how to make a comeback. He's been in probably every position you could ever script in professional surfing over the last 2 decades. And now rolling in out the back is Gabriel Medina. A huge forehand hook. Slater has to duck dive this one. Now he's running after a huge cavern. Standing tall and just driving through this wide open face, hoping for it to barrel. He's got a pin drop and get out in the closeout.
I thought we were going to see something special right there. Kelly had to duck dive that one. It would have been a gut-churning moment.
Pretty dramatic watching that one, and a lot of commitment going a long distance for a 2.17.
Yeah, but look at the size of this thing. As you can watch him do his first turn right here, beautiful carving maneuver, and then Kelly had to duck dive right there. This thing started to double up through that inside, and definitely some nervous moments for Kelly, because this could have turned into something special. Big, solid wave through that inside bowl. You've got to give Medina credit for hanging in there as long as he did. That's the 2 points right there for that turn. And then the rest was just waiting for it to unload on the reef.
Coming off the replay, Kelly Slater somewhere inside that barrel, but going down. We'll bring you that vision in just a moment. Kelly still fighting back, but incomplete on his comeback road, and he is running out of time. We remembered his semifinal last year at J-Bay. It's been a long time. Let's see what happened here, Potts.
Super late takeoff right there from Kelly Slater. Upside down, almost impossible. And just the confidence to think that he was going to make that. Kelly's not going to take off on a wave if he doesn't think he can pull that off. And that's the crazy ability of this human.
Now hitting the 5-minute warning. Kelly needs an 8.18. Medina, through his world title run, was also checking out the records that Kelly had set previously. So it's not just competitive in the lineup, it's competitive for the records in surfing history. Medina wanted to know Kelly's age when he accomplished his first world title, how many wins that he had. Medina was trying to see if he can break that record. Medina ended up with less wins than Kelly had in that first season on first world title run on tour, as Medina turned 21 just a few days after, so he was an older 20 when he accomplished the world title. But I just love how competitive it is for every single record in the sport.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, you've got to have some things that push you along, don't you? You've got to dig deep, and if it comes down to how many wins you get, who wins first. You know, Medina's got a long way to go, though, if he wants to try and match Kelly Slater, that's for sure. He only needs another 10 world titles.
It's got a long way to go, but still very young at 22. Medina on pace so far in this semifinal with the lead over Kelly. We just lost John Florence from the draw as he's hanging out with Rosie Hodge.
Well, John, obviously a tough matchup against Maddie Wilkinson, but it seemed like it was more, you know, the conditions not playing at your favor. You did have that one opportunity, and then unfortunately it just clipped you at the end.
Yeah, you know, the waves are really good right now. I kind of just I didn't pick the best waves, and I had that one at the end that was like, that was an amazing wave. It was just like a couple feet too deep, but there's some good waves coming in.
And obviously a 5th place finish here isn't a bad result, so how do you kind of reset for J-Bay from here?
Yeah, it's not too bad of a result. It's still a keeper, and you know, it's only halfway through the year. We still have so many events, and so I'm pretty excited for J-Bay. The only reason I'm bummed is that I'm going to go surf more of these waves right now. I'm going to go surf restaurants or something, but all in all, I'm pretty stoked. Had some really good waves, and yeah.
Yeah, well, John, we hope you get some bombs at restaurants this afternoon. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Rosie. John Florence moving forward quickly, just wants to keep himself in the water. On days like today for John, he spends about 8 hours in the ocean, surfs all day long when the surf is pumping. Kind of didn't talk about training too much when he first was on tour. Now he's doing a little bit of both. And he's in a great position in the world title race. Coming to this event, Italo Ferreira was world number 2. Now that's John Florence's spot at the moment, still with a couple of heats to add some points to. Now getting caught up with this one, Kelly's got to ditch his board over a very shallow section of the reef. He's fallen on his last 3 attempts, trying to get a comeback score of an 8.18. Already a broken board and a lot of beatdowns in this matchup.
Well, if we can go back to that last wave, Gabriel Medina had priority. Kelly Slater took off on the wave. And let's have a look, see what happened here. Kelly Slater looking. Are you going to go, Gabriel? Kelly takes off. Gabriel says, yep, I've got priority. Have a look how tight this is. Kelly had to pull through the back of that wave and got sucked up and over the falls. Gabriel kicks out. Pure strategy right there. That's that whole priority situation. Now, Kelly, I tell you what, that ability to be able to jam off the bottom and not interfere with Gabriel Medina was crazy. Medina, pure tactics right there, blocking in Kelly, using that priority, and then Kelly went over the fall. So what happened? Medina went out the back and got priority back. So situation remains the same, except Kelly's used a lot of energy getting caught inside by a couple of waves and some time that got wiped off the clock.
He's so aware of every situation. We asked Kelly how many interferences he's had in his career, and he said not many. He's thought about 2 that came to mind. He said he probably has a few more. He was able to make it out of a heat with an interference against Reef McIntosh at Pipe a long time ago because he had a 10.
Sorry, Reef.
This is another situation right now, Potts. A minute to go. Kelly Slater looking for an 8.18 underneath the priority of Gabriel Medina. And Medina's right on his shoulders. Kelly's hope is there's a multiple wave set fast. And now, so Medina's forced to make a decision here.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, even with the whereabouts of Kelly Slater, it's you've got a feisty Medina that's going to stick to him like Velcro. And this is that tactics. This is that defense. You can see Medina pushing Kelly further and further up. And then he's like, okay, what? You want to have a paddle race? Let's do this. Kelly needs to double back right about now. This wave's starting to swing wide. Kelly pushing the inside.
Now down to 22 seconds. Medina holding priority in a solid lead. Little wave starting to pop up. Kelly trying to create some space. But he'd need an 8.18. He found a little bit of room. Wave doesn't look like much. But he's going to have to run with it with 5 seconds on the clock, and we'll close this one out quickly. Gabriel Medina takes out Kelly Slater in the first semifinal and moves on to the final of the Fiji Pro. Kelly got Medina in a final out here back in 2012. Medina a bit of payback, and he'll be preparing now for Ace Buchan or Matt Wilkinson, and it will be an all-Namotu final. Kelly finally getting the barrel he was looking for, just a little bit too late.
Well, that's Mother Nature for you. I mean, another 5 seconds, another 10 seconds on the clock maybe, and we could have seen maybe an amazing comeback from Kelly Slater, but not to be.
A huge heat going down. Kelly finding the form once again, moving through here all the way to a semifinal finish, going from 35th in the world all the way to 26th on the Jeep leaderboard. Gabriel Medina has already moved up to world number 3. Now fighting for John's spot number 2 in the world, and we'll see what happens in the final coming up later on today. We'll be taking a quick break. Coming up next, Ace Buchan takes on world number 1 Matt Wilkinson.
Do you like that? Well, if so, subscribe over there and then watch more videos over there. And then tell us your favorite videos down there. It's a 3-step process. Do them all now.